Hold on.
You weren't ready.
That was a big one. And that's probably going to come back in.
The fucking window.
Just a bit.
Well, hello. You are listening to Just a Bit Gaming. I'm your host, Ryan Chumpy Crash Reynolds. And this is your other host, Adrian Bertazoy Townsend. And we're putting the joy on your stick.
I was waiting for my chance to say whoop.
I like how you threw it in. Like
right before you finished?
Yeah. It was like listening to a really good rap song. And in the background, you've got the hype men, like while the rapper is like still spitting his hot bars. The hype men in the back are like, whoop, yep, shit like that.
Yeah.
It was relatively hype.
Well, good.
But we've always known that you are what the Instagram crowd would call a hype beast.
Am I?
Yeah. I mean, okay. If we're talking as far as like actual like this video game culture goes, you go to the conventions, you buy every notable new release.
I do.
When it comes out. You buy every new system when it comes out. You wear the gear.
Yeah.
If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, whatever the fucking phrase is, it must be Adrian Bertazoy Townsend.
That's right.
So I'd say as far as video game culture goes, you're absolutely a hype beast.
Okay, I am. I can't disagree once you put it that way.
Yeah. Before this conversation, had you ever been aware of the phrase hype beast?
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that I necessarily analyzed what the meaning of it was.
Generally speaking, I think it harkens to like fashion.
Okay.
Like as far as like social media, hype beast, clout shit goes, I think it's like the type of kids who would stand in line for 4 days to buy a sweater that says Supreme across the front.
Or a pair of shoes that...
yeah.
Are unique.
Like a new release of Air Jordans.
Okay.
You know, with a re-released vintage colorway or some shit.
Well, then, once you describe it that way, the terminology fits me quite
It fits
well.
you as far as the video game shit goes.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think I'm much of a hype beast for like anything.
You're a hype beast for clothes, kind of?
I mean, I know what's happening, but I never go buy it.
Okay, well, I guess that applies to everything then. You know what's happened with video games, but you never go buy them.
Yeah, exactly. No, like
you take in the hype.
I take in the hype,
and
then I talk about the hype.
There you go.
I'm more of a disseminator of hype.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And actually, it minimizes clutter, and you probably save a lot of money that way, too.
I don't spend money on shit.
Yeah.
You know this trend of my life, though.
Yeah.
I just I don't spend much. I think from head to toe right now, I'm wearing less than $20 worth of clothes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Did you see my new Vans, by the way?
Dude, those are slick. Are those secondhand Vans?
I bought them for $6.
Nice. Actually, the Vans that I'm wearing are secondhand Vans. I bought them for $3.
We've talked. Oh, you went on that one, but we've talked about your Vans.
Oh, did we?
Your blue slip-ons,
dude. Those are
they're
so
so good,
and
they looked brand new when you got them.
It was a gateway drug though, because now I'm ready to buy a new pair of Vans. I love those shoes.
What size shoe do you wear?
13.
A 13. I'll keep an eye out.
All right, thank you.
I'll keep an eye out.
They have to be clean and slick.
There's a couple places that I go shop secondhand that I'll buy shoes from, but only if those shoes, if I can absolutely discern that they've never been worn or they still have one of the original tags on them.
Yeah.
So I'll keep an eye out.
I don't mind if even they've been worn, but as long as they still look nice.
Clean,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And these shoes, I've worn them to death already, and they're holding together pretty well, but they're looking pretty dirty. I need to get them clean.
Yeah. You know, for the white outsole, Baby wipes are surprisingly
Okay.
adept at getting that shit
Baby
cleaned up.
wipes are good at cleaning a lot of things.
Well, it's because they are literally designed to take shit away from a person who you are not ready to bathe.
That's right. I mean, honestly, yeah, whatever chemicals they put in there works well. Like I have been known when my kids were younger to use baby wipes to wipe down surfaces of a table or whatever. If there was anything anywhere, baby wipes are like, they're like those Lysol wipes, man. They're equally as good,
And
if
they're
not
just
better.
dangerously
thicker.
handy.
The only thing I don't like them is they leave a kind of sticky residue.
Baby wipes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't clean a mirror with them.
No.
No.
But like if you clean, like I'll clean my laptop, clean the buttons and the mouse pad,
Yeah.
and it'll feel just slightly sticky. But if you get a clean rag or a paper towel or something and wipe it down, it's fine.
I don't know, though. If you don't have that extra rag to wipe it down,
Mhm.
just playing advocate here, why don't you use the tackiness to your advantage? You know?
Why? How?
Like on your computer keys. Wouldn't it give you like a tactile edge?
No.
No?
Actually, the keys don't get sticky. It's the mouse pad. You don't really have a sticky mouse pad.
No, you don't want to sticky. No, you don't. It's like trying to ice skate sideways.
That's not even possible.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Shit hops.
Dude, I'm ready to talk about some Resident Evil. I've been aching to talk about some Resident Evil.
Seriously. It's like
Dude,
he's been damn near tantric about it.
it's so like amazing that this game exists. It
Yeah.
really is.
We were talking on the phone yesterday and he started going off about this game again and just stopped mid-sentence and made a sound that I can only liken to finishing
Yeah.
in a sexual in a sexual act and said, "I'll save it for the show." Jeez,
I don't recall this.
smoke a cigarette, man.
Well, I don't remember this, but I can't
It's
argue
because
the
you were in a
fact.
sex haze.
Let me just say that Resident Evil 2 is quite possibly no, not quite possibly. I'm going to just say it. It is the best remake of a game that has ever come out, in my opinion. Well, obviously it's my opinion. I'm sharing it.
Attacking that, in my opinion.
You almost have to, otherwise you
the
get people attack you immediately, being like,
I don't know. That was a real 2018
Crash
move.
Bandicoot was much better. Well, Crash Bandicoot was pretty damn good, but
And I'm hearing some really good shit about Spyro.
Spyro is so good. It is so good.
Quick side note. I forgot to ask Zach Doyle, who is one of the guys that keeps brewing us this delicious fucking brew. I forgot to ask him to come with me so he could talk about Spyro. He's been chomping at the bit to
talk
join
about
us
Spyro.
to talk about Spyro a little bit. So, we'll dedicate this sip to you.
I took a drink before and a drink after.
It's called punctuation.
Mm.
It's proper drinking grammar.
Yeah.
And also, on top of that side note, they being Zach and Troy and Adam have graced us with another batch of watermelon wheat.
That I'm very
We don't even
appreciative
need to review it again. I
No,
told
no.
them I would stop reviewing new beers as long as they keep giving us this.
of. It's a good beer. It's still as good
It's
as it
such
was
a good
last
beer.
time.
They haven't made the official announcement yet. But I suggested that they name their blossoming young brewing project Third Wheel Brewing because they forgot to include Adam on the first batch.
There you go.
They haven't made the announcement that they have accepted that name yet.
Yeah. It's a
'cause
good name.
They haven't accepted the name yet. That's why they haven't made the announcement. But I'm going to go ahead and announce that I'm pretty sure they're going to go ahead and do what I'm telling them to do, right?
I
So
like
thanks,
the name though.
thanks Third Wheel Brewing. Don't ever change your name because it's out in the ether now.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 2 remake is one of those games that I never thought could ever happen. Like it is everything I would have wanted in a remake of one of my favorite game series of all time. it's everything I would have wanted and more. Like, I don't know how they were able to capture the essence of a Resident Evil game, the classic old style Resident Evil game, with this game, and add so much more to it to modernize it and still feel fresh. It is just, it's so good. Like, actually, I took some notes and I'm gonna get my notes out because there's a few things I want to touch on about what I've been playing. The first of all, I got the deluxe edition. They have a standard edition, which you don't get any extra costumes or anything for your characters. The deluxe edition gives you like 3 extra costumes for Claire and 2 extra for Leon. One of which for Claire is a costume of Elsa Walker. And if you're familiar with Resident Evil 2 at all, there was a Resident Evil 1.5 that they call it. And it was basically going to be Resident Evil 2. And mid-production, the director or the producer of the game, I don't remember which, basically didn't like the direction the game was going and hired a new writer for the story and scrapped everything when they were like 90% of the way through the game.
I've read about this.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I've never spent a lot of time playing the games.
Mm-hmm.
The idea intrigues me. The storytelling has always intrigued me, and I've read about all of them.
Yeah.
Full synopses and all of that. So I knew about that.
It's really interesting that they would cancel a game that far in production. But the thing is they really wanted to put out something that was quality, a good follow-up to what was such a great game in the first one. And so when they did this, one of the characters they had was a character called Elsa Walker, and she was a motorcyclist. Is that what you call them? Or just cyclist? She was a
cyclist rides a bicycle, and that is far less spooky.
Yeah. Well, she had this motorcycle
A biker.
outfit.
She was a biker.
Kind of, but like not like a biker.
That's a fucking pirate. I don't mean to call you out.
No. I thought, oh yeah, that's not right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, champ.
No, it was it's more like we call it like a sports bike.
Like a Power Ranger bike.
Power Ranger bike?
Yeah, like a fucking Kawasaki Ninja type thing.
Yeah, okay.
Like a
yeah. Well, you know, like the onesie suits that they wear that has the pads on them and stuff built into the suit.
Furries.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was one of those.
So like a racer.
Yeah.
Like a racer.
You're right.
Not something that gets rid of pencil.
No, not an eraser. A racer. Yes. Anyway, the suit,
zombie eraser.
The suit, yeah. So they brought back that suit for Claire to wear, just kind of an homage or pay respects to that lost version of the game, which is amazing. I've been playing that game primarily with that suit on, which is it's just.
Is that why you changed into this shirt before we started recording?
Heck yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah. Resident Evil. Raccoon Police Party. This is one I got from E3. I love this shirt. So they also, in the deluxe edition, included the original soundtrack and noise effects. So what happens with that is when you start the game with this sound effects patch on, it'll play the same music that plays on the start menu screen of the original game. And then when you press start, it'll say Resident Evil 2, just like the old game, dude. That is nostalgia 100%
to the max.
And but the original version doesn't do that, and it seems like a missed opportunity, and I don't understand why they charge extra for that. That should have been something that was already included in the game.
Well, that's exactly why they charge extra for it.
Because they know suckers like me are going to buy it.
People will buy that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you ponied right the fuck up.
Dude, I didn't even ask a question. I don't buy deluxe editions.
Like, when you're selling out cash for it, you weren't like, I don't know why they didn't include this and such. You're like, yes, would you like some more of these dollars?
They knew their market and they hit them hard. And yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. But on top of that, they've got the music that plays when you first walk into the police station, that iconic soundtrack song that plays. It's kind of a melancholic like feeling of it's got a kind of a horror vibe, but it also has a kind of a safety within the horror atmosphere, because you know that when you're in that main lobby of the police station, you're safe then it's that kind of safe sounding music, I guess.
But it's still a little uncanny,
Yeah.
a little depressing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when it's cloudy and kind of warm outside, but the breeze is a little too cold.
That is a good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah.
And danger's around the corner, but you're safe as long as that music is playing. They don't play any music like that in the original game. And actually, I started the game without the extras or the old soundtrack, and it is eerily quiet.
Right.
And so I turned it on, and now I can't turn it off. Like, I love it. It is so good. Even down to the menu, when you pop open your menu to look through your inventory, though, the sound effects that it makes when you go whoop, 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 whoop. Just the sounds that it makes when you're choosing through things and selecting an item to unlock a door and stuff like that. It's so nostalgic, dude, and it hits me right in that nostalgic bug core that I have.
It gets you in the goods.
It does. And I highly recommend if you are just as nostalgic about the old game as I am, I highly recommend that you get the deluxe edition, or at least that soundtrack. That soundtrack really changes the experience, in my opinion. So, what was so great about the old game was the sense of tension, the atmosphere, the exploration, getting through the police station, exploring the rooms, trying to find ammo and keys and items to solve the puzzles within the mansion. I call it a mansion, but it's a police station. And
I think, in my opinion, the key difference between the classic styling of these types of games and the more modern way of them going about it is that now I feel like it is just like intense, kind of browbeating, like rah, scary. And back then it was more like a building sense of unease and anticipation and anxiety before that bah, came and got you.
well,
You know?
yes, I could see that, but I think it captures the feeling and the essence of the old game so well. Like what I'm describing about the old games, of that tension, like
That's what I'm saying that I liked about the old versions of these games better. And that's what I like about what they're doing with re-releasing, like redoing that old game and hearkening back to that mentality. While these games have, like the jump scares and all that, I've never bitten off on it.
mm-hmm.
The older versions of these games hit me in a more psychological space.
Yeah.
Because it was the building sense of like, they could or could not happen realistically. Like I could play the next, handful of minutes. I could play the next 10 minutes and maybe not shoot anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the modern tellings in this same genre of games kind of feel like you just expect it every turn. Blah, boo, spooky.
Right.
Blah,
But they also,
they
also take away, like these modern games that you're referring to, they take away that sense of tension, that sense of not knowing what's around the corner.
And that's why that actually sums up why I can't get into them.
Yeah.
Because it almost seems like you can pace it. Like, when shit's going to jump out these days,
right. And you're well prepared because typically you have the ammo that you need, the health that you need.
You'll be walking through the spooky hallways and combing over, a drafty room, and nothing feels right, nothing sounds right, and you're just kind of going through, ooh, here's a photograph I need to look at.
Right.
Ooh, here's a postcard I need to read. Ooh, here's a partial fingerprint, and then you open the door to like a fucking toilet paper cabinet, and there's 9 guns and 5 pockets worth of ammo and something to make yourself.
So, I mean, basically what you're describing is something like the Uncharted series or really any kind of modern game.
Like it all just kind of like, it's just like this fair level of exposition that's like spooky. Oh, here's all this shit because you're about to have to really fuck,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the thing is with those old games, because you don't get autosaves like you do with modern games, you have to really carefully walk around and explore you're more cautious, and
exactly,
and you don't know what's around the corner. You can hear things going on, and then so that something's around the corner, but you don't know where it is or how it's going to get you.
So
if your
whole experience is more circumspect with the older ones.
I guess what I'm trying to describe, like besides the tension building of having to plot out and understand what you're getting yourself into. You have to be able to say, hey, my inventory is limited. Do I really need to carry all these things with me? Or do I need to come out and do I need to, do I need this gun, this gun? Do I need this key? Do I need this thing to unlock this door or this puzzle? You have to plot out exactly what you want to do before you do it. And the great thing about that game is because of that tension, the monsters, you don't have enough ammo to kill everything. So you have to run around a lot of different things while you're going through the game. So that stress and that tension of knowing that you could die at any turn and have to repeat your process again is really kind of it's scary. It's scary on a level that's not just, hey, I'm a scary monster. It's scary on, hey, I'm a scary monster that can kill you, and you're gonna have to repeat some of this stuff if you're not careful. It really makes you stop and think about the steps you take before you take them, and that's what I love about games like this. A lot of people are saying that this game is too hard, and I think it's because they're not used to that older style of gameplay that I think is kind of gone away, and I'm ready for it to make a comeback. That's why I say whenever I said that I didn't think a game like this would be able to come out again. I thought it was a dead style. And it's not. They've blown me away with what they were able to accomplish with this. That same tension that I described about the old games is present in this new game, but it's even amplified more. You know, they've got a tyrant that follows you around throughout the police station called Mr. X. And he was in Resident Evil 2, the original, but he wasn't as menacing, I guess, or as he is in this one. Like you could pretty easily get away from him. In this one, he follows you around through different rooms and everything else, and he's terrifying. And that is one aspect that just really helps move the game forward and keeps the tension high. You've got characters making a return. You've got the police station. The rooms have changed, altered a little bit. Like when I say this is a remake, this is like these people, these new devs are retelling the same story that you know and love, but they're changing it up in a lot of ways to make it like a fresh experience. And it's really honestly amazing that they've able to pull this off. And it feels like an old style Resident Evil. You don't have the fixed camera angles anymore, but you still have that third person perspective behind your character while you walk through and explore, and you still have things that jump around the corner that you don't expect.
Right.
But they've kept a lot of things. They kept the item box. So you have to do a lot of inventory management. There's a lot of backtracking throughout the mansion because you'll get to a room that's locked and you have to go and try to figure out or find the key or figure out the puzzle to open that locked door before you can get into it and get a key item that you need for another part of the room or of the mansion. Another thing I really like about this style of gameplay is, you know how you're like really into the open world stuff and you like to explore and have the freedom to go kind of wherever you want. I like this more restrictive area that you get to explore, like the mansion in RE1, the police station in RE2. Like you are still free to go wherever you want within this place, but there are restrictions. Like there are locked doors. There are places that you have to find out a way to get through. And so figuring out that puzzle to get you to the next room that you want to see or that you have to get to progress the gameplay is so intriguing to me. And I love games like that. It's a restrictive open world, I guess. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call it.
I mean, like you can go where you want inside that world, but it's a small world.
It's yeah. And and you kind of take in every aspect of it and understand like you feel more secluded that way, I guess. Like you feel more helpless. Like there's nobody there to help you. And I think this is why it works really well for the RE games is you are, you feel alone and you feel trapped and you feel like there's no escape. And it really hammers down on that feeling big time. And dude, it gives me such a tense feeling when I'm playing it. It's like I can only play this game in, short doses because it eventually becomes too much and I need a break,
So, okay. For a genre that we both know, I'm admittedly not really into. Can we, just from a technical standpoint, touch on how detailed the movement of the zombies are. Is are doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter. Can we just touch on that?
Yeah.
Like just from like a technical artistic standpoint,
Yeah.
how realistic, how convincing it is.
It really is. These are the best. Like I know I've said this to you before, but these zombie animations and the reactions that they have are the best I've ever seen in a video game, hands down.
It's crazy.
It's creepy.
They
Yeah.
react more from getting shot in like the fucking kneecap than I
Yeah.
think I would in real life.
Yeah, and it's absolutely true. Not so much in the head. You could shoot some zombies in the head several times and they won't go down, but
That's because they're not worried about the dome,
Yeah.
dude.
unless you get that magic critical shot and it explodes their head, I love that.
Yeah.
The coolest part though is when they're walking towards you, if you look at their faces, their jaws are moving and they're like they look creepy, man. And when you have your gun held up and you're looking at the zombie coming at you, you get a genuine sense of dread staring at this creepy zombie monster that's just it's incredible. And I think that really helps to heighten that suspense within the game.
Also, the range of designs
Mm-hmm.
within them.
Yeah.
You know, that there is so many. Each of them are unique to each other. I'm sure there's,
Yeah.
obviously there's going to be repeats.
Yeah.
But there's a large enough range of them that it's not like, you know, blue zombie, red zombie, blue zombie, red zombie, red zombie, red
Right.
zombie, blue zombie, you know?
Like in the originals, you had a subset of zombies, and
You might
that's
have
what you
2 or
see.
3 designs,
Yeah.
and then even in a horde, you still had that 2 or 3 designs. Even games that were so great, like Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
only had like a specific like range of zombie design, you know?
Right. And
Before
this
you
game
start-
does too.
It does too. It just feels less repetitive.
It kind of
And maybe
does,
it's
yeah.
just because of the detail that you can kind of hone in on looking at. I don't know.
And yeah, it's that, and it's also that I'm not so much focused on what they look like aesthetically, maybe what they're wearing. I'm more focused on the fact that these are some creepy ass zombies.
Right.
No matter how, if they're repeat or not, they're still creepy. And when you get in a room with more than one zombie and it's a small space, it's scary, man. Like you got to be quick with that trigger finger and get them down, or don't get yourself back into a corner because you're screwed. It's cool. And when you're walking through the mansion, they can break through the windows. So you get boards, but you only get a limited number of boards to board up the windows. And so you have to pick and choose what areas you think you're going to go through multiple times and board up the windows for those rooms. Otherwise, if you leave a room and come back, chances are you're going to have a new zombie crawling back through the window again, coming to get you. And so you've really got to kind of hold on to what ammo
You
you
got to
have.
pay a lot of attention.
Yeah. And you have to get good at dodging because you don't have enough ammo to kill everything. And the boss characters, the bosses in this game are really, really cool. Besides the tyrant that I told you about, there's
Right.
other bosses that are they're tough fights and they're bullet sponges. So if you need to go into these battles expecting to or having enough ammo, and that means doing a thoroughly good job of reserving your ammo and searching rooms for the ammo that you need to go into these. So it's a game that you could really screw yourself over with if you use too much ammo before you get to a situation like that. Because if you don't have any ammo to take this boss out, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, that's the biggest piece of the challenge, though.
Yeah, and I think that's what people
it's
are
planning.
Yeah, it's
and
planning.
creating your own patterns. You know,
So I
it's-
could see, like, if somebody had never played a Resident Evil game before, let's say, and they're just kind of shooting everything as quickly as they have bullets. When they get to a part where they really need those bullets and they don't have the bullets, you kind of have to go to a back save or restart the whole game over again.
They should use this game as like like a training or even like an interview tool for like retail and restaurant management.
How's that?
You know, like keeping track of inventory, really.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you can get through this game with enough ammo and enough boards and win,
Are you going to start implementing this to
I think fucking probably, yeah. I think I'm gonna. I'm teaching Zach of the newly created Third Wheel Brewing.
yeah.
I'm training him to be hopefully become the GM of our next location. Maybe, who knows?
Mhm.
We'll see. That's my hope. That's my idea. I'd stop being proud of him if he didn't get it. I wouldn't be his friend anymore. But I think I'm gonna make him play this game so I can see where his medal really stands with inventory management.
So whenever he completes the game, however much ammo he has left in his ranking, they give you a ranking at the end of the game. So-
Right. And if he gets some shit ranking, I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry about you, dude. This is the end of our professional and personal relationship. It's been a nice 10 years of friendship, but you really kind of screwed the pooch
You
on
let me
this
down.
one.
It is all Resident Evil.
Yeah. I hope he wouldn't do that poorly.
Yeah, I would hope not. It's one of those games that I think though. How old is he?
28,
Oh, okay. Never
I
mind.
think.
He's old enough.
Man, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna feel like a real ass. I think he's 28.
I think some of the younger crowd who might be picking this game is selling like gangbusters, mind you. And so I imagine there's a lot of people that are picking this up who probably haven't played a classic style Resident Evil game. So they don't know what to expect when it comes to that. When it comes to backtracking, when it comes to ammo reserves, when it comes to exploring without having the means to be able to protect yourself to the fullest.
Right.
So I can see a lot of people getting turned off by that. So I would suggest to them to, try it again, go into it with a more conservative mindset, I guess, and just enjoy the game for what it is. Like I spend most of my time, I'm going through this game super slow because I am
That's
going
because
through.
that's as fast as you can go through the game.
You could go through it fast. I've heard of people speed running this game in less than 2 hours, which is insane
Wow.
to think about. I think I've got, I don't know, 6 hours into the game, and I don't even think I'm halfway through it yet. And but the thing is like every room that I go to, I am exploring every shelf up and down, carefully looking at everything because there's so much detail and things to see, and I'm looking for like Easter eggs and maybe things that call back to the old game. I'm that nostalgia mindset is got me just enamored with this world.
I get that.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like I want to be able to see like everything that is in these rooms because each room is truly unique and detailed, and there's things everywhere for you to look at, and I love that.
Well, I mean, even though we've talked about this game to a fault at this point, Spider-Man, that's how I
Yeah.
played Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Was every inch of that game I tried to explore because, my love and my attachment to the comic books,
right.
So I was looking for all those Easter eggs and for all those references.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't disappointed in that,
Yeah, same thing. I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. It gives me that same feeling, like, but in a smaller sense because it's not this open world like a
Right.
Spider-Man. It's more detailed, so you really kind of have to look. I guess you kind of have to really look in Spider-Man too, because
because you got so much space.
yeah,
to
there's
cover.
so much to look at.
That being
yeah.
said, are we done with Resident Evil?
Sure.
I finished.
I don't have anything else
I
to say.
finished my completion run. Malone and I finished our completion run on Spider-Man.
Congrats.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I think I said it before. The last game I'm pretty sure I completed might have been Kingdom Hearts 2.
Ooh, dude. Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Kingdom Hearts 3 releasing at this point is the reason I decided to just like fuck it, not even go ahead and buy a different game right now.
Yeah.
Like, because I've almost bought Smash several times, and started Red Dead, but I know the time suck it's gonna be. I finished the completion run on Spider-Man,
yeah.
and we patted ourselves on the back. Got 100% completion, all the suits, including the boxers, the underwear suit that you have to get for completing all the districts.
Did you see the new suits announced today?
And they announced new suits. The Bombastic Bagman,
Yep.
and I don't really know the technical name for it. It's a white and black Fantastic Four variant
Yeah.
that is so sick.
Both of them are. I like both of them.
They are so cool. Do you know the story behind the Bagman costume?
No, I don't.
Whenever Spider-Man and Fantastic Four first crossed over,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it might have been like the fucking 40s or something. I don't remember. But in their history, long ago history, when they first kind of had a crossover, Spider-Man was approaching them to try to join them and ended up fighting them instead. And then a bunch of shit happened, and he ended up with nothing but his underwear and his mask.
Ah, okay.
Maybe he didn't even have the mask. I don't
Well, if
recall.
he's wearing a bag head, I assume he didn't have his mask.
No, he didn't have the mask, but all he had was his underwear. And that's kind of what the underwear costume is hearkening back to.
Yeah.
So he went to borrow a Fantastic Four costume, but none of them use masks. And so he needed a mask really bad because he obviously,
Right.
and he's kind of like got a love-hate relationship historically with the Human Torch, who said, well, maybe you should wear a bag on your head. And so they drew the Spidey eyes on the bag, and he wore that as a mask, and he became the bombastic bag man for a while.
Okay. That seems like, I know it's a comic book, but how do you keep a bag on your head when you're swinging through the city?
Oh, don't be an asshole, Adrian.
I had to go there. I had to. I thought that was my first thought when I saw that costume. I was like, how do you keep
double-sided tape across the forehead?
Okay, yeah.
There.
Or you could tape the bottom of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways. There are ways. Oh, I mean, there are ways.
You
It's
just be super
Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man.
He
He
could do
shoots webs and climbs walls.
He does what he wants.
I mean, think about that though. His fingers and his toes. He can climb walls.
Yeah.
So maybe his face has the same fucking barbs, and he just kind of like velcros the inside of the bag to his
There you
face.
go. You've convinced me.
Yeah, I just myth busted the shit out of it.
Nice.
I'm so proud I spit when I said it. Did you see that? It
No.
was like a little fountain.
That's awesome. I didn't see it. It's not on my
So
phone, so we're good.
I'm excited about and all you have to do for those new suits
Yeah.
is download the patch on the game.
Yeah,
They're free, like the Raimi suit, just gifts to the player.
Which is cool that they're still even putting that stuff out, months after its
Yeah.
release.
Did you
For free.
you haven't gotten any of the downloadable content yet, have you?
No.
For Spider-Man? You should. It's cool.
Yeah. I intend to go back to it at some point.
2 new suits aside from the new release suits. I had said on the last episode that there was the heist and then something involving Hammerhead and then another one called The City That Never Sleeps.
Mhm.
The City That Never Sleeps is actually the 3-part DLC pack. So there's the heist and then the Hammerhead one and then another one, and the whole package is called The City That Never Sleeps. So I was wrong about that.
Okay.
And then I did read an interview where they said that they weren't releasing any more DLC, no more suits, and then they released 2 new suits.
Yeah.
So I got to eat crow on that shit too. Got to retcon myself.
I know I'm done talking about Resident Evil. I've said enough to say about it, but it did bring up a point that I kind of wanted to get your feedback on or touch on a little bit. And that is the quality of remakes that they're doing right now that are based upon the era of gaming that I think I'm most nostalgic for. That to me is super cool. Like, I am totally digging this direction they're going in with Crash, with Spyro, with Resident Evil. They're still working on Final Fantasy VII. Dude, I'm so pumped for that game. Medieval is another PlayStation game.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I'll be ready for that one to come out.
It's this seems to be like the perfect time to kind of be remaking those games, and it's touching on, people from my era all the way down. There's a lot of people younger than me who maybe grew up playing those games like that get to play them now, and it's just super cool to see that era. Like, I remember seeing remakes and stuff of like NES era, any Super Nintendo era games, and that was cool, but it didn't have the same effect on me as it is now. Like, especially with this
Right.
Resident Evil game, it's to be able to see these games that I would always love to see redone or remade in that same style, still retaining that same gameplay and everything, but just updated graphics visually and new or modern gameplay mechanics. It's so cool.
I'm noticing a trend these days, like 2017, at least late 2017 into 2018. I might even give it a full 2017 vote, but 2017, 2018 were strong release years,
Right.
new release years. And so far, late 2018 into 2019, there is this trend of kind of remakes and rebirths becoming maybe kind of the central focus, but I'm seeing kind of a split a bit of a dichotomy in this gaming community that obviously people are getting so fucking just amped. You
Mhm.
know, people are getting really excited about the remakes and the retellings and the rebirths of these old franchises just as much as they would get excited for a brand new experience.
Mhm.
You know, a brand new game, a brand new story.
They essentially are.
And I was talking to somebody at work the other day about, well, maybe 2019 will be the year of the remake. Maybe 2019 will be this renaissance. You know, we've talked about the platformers coming back. We've talked about, you know, games like Resident Evil coming back to its roots.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I mean, really, if we're going to be talking about a rebirth of games like that, you know, I'd kind of like to see the more kind of bare bones first person shooter experience like GoldenEye come back, where you only had limited shit you even could do, you know?
Yeah.
Just from a nostalgia standpoint, maybe even just re-release a game like GoldenEye with a new coat of paint on it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I'm seeing that the conversation I was having was whether 2019 would be a year of new releases or a year of remakes, and I'm seeing the field kind of splitting in the gaming world and in the market where they're happening simultaneously and to the same effect.
Yeah.
You know,
I hearken
one
it
isn't
to
one isn't getting traded out for the other anymore,
right. They coexist, I guess.
and that's really rad that it is coexisting on the level that it is.
It is really cool, but I also I like to make the comparison to like movies. You know, whenever they decide to remake an old classic movie or something like that, I don't typically get excited for it because I know that it's not going to live up to the expectations because I've been let down so many times. That trend is different with gaming, it seems like. They've been remaking these old classic games like to a much higher level, and they seem to be maybe people who are developing these games also have that same nostalgia towards those old properties and really want to do them justice.
There just seems to be a different respect for it.
Yeah, right.
Which I think is exactly what you were saying, just with different words.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Different words. It's one of those things that I think it's funny to see the difference between the movie world and the gaming world when it comes to remakes. People are more receptive to remakes, I think, in the gaming world than they are in the movie world. And I think this trend of remakes, especially with the success of Resident Evil 2 already, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of these in the near future. It may not be 2019, but I think development of some more remakes is really going to start in 2019.
Yeah, I that's kind of what I was driving at is I see it kind of really gathering steam, you know?
Yeah,
Like
it is.
and the point that I made still stands that they are coexisting. But for it to even be coexisting, the trend of the remake had to really get moving in the first place.
Right.
You know?
How do you think it started initially? I think it started with Crash Bandicoot, to be honest with you.
I mean, really that seems to be the most realistic.
Oh, Crash Team Racing is getting remade too. I forgot about that.
Is
one.
it?
Yeah.
You know, man, I didn't care about that game when it happened.
I never played it, but I am anxious to play
I
it.
still have the original.
Do you?
It's sitting in my living room.
Yeah.
But
I remember playing the Crash
I mean,
Racing
I had
on the
it
PS2.
and I played it, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It's just, but I mean, I loved Mario Kart when it came out.
me too. That's why I never give it a shot. It's like, oh, this is the second-rate Mario Kart. Nobody's gonna.
It would have been
Mario Kart.
third rate because Diddy Kong was second rate.
I would put Diddy Kong in the same boat with Crash.
We've had this discussion.
Having never played either one.
Diddy
but-
Kong was kind of rad. It was a good game, but it wasn't Mario Kart. And then past that, I've never cared a whole lot about racing games.
But yeah, I like the resurgence of the remakes. I'm anxious to see what happens next. If I were to choose another remake that I would love to see, I've got one specific game in mind. Like, well, actually, I've got a bunch. I would like to see some old PS1 style RPGs remade in the newer style. But I think more so than that, I would love to see the original Tomb Raider remade. Kind of given the same treatment that Resident Evil 2 was given.
Did I ever tell you my experience with the original Tomb Raider?
I don't think so.
My cousin was in town and we were at my grandma's house
Mm-hmm.
and he set up his gaming system and we sat down and he was showing me Tomb Raider. Because his first thing was he wanted me to see her boobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was every teenage boy's.
Like waiting for grandma to leave the room so we could turn off Parupa the Fupa.
Yeah. We have a fire in the house.
You have a fire in the house.
What was that? What was that? Was that your computer? Turn it down.
So we could turn off Parupa the Fupa, and he's looking over his shoulder waiting for grandma to leave the room, and then he pops in Tomb Raider and he's like, check this out. Which is the same way he acted the first time he showed me the Britney Spears Hit Me Baby One More Time music video. Like, hey, have you ever seen a girl before that had arms and legs and a face?
And boobies.
Because I know where to find them. You know? And so then he started playing a little bit, and then he handed me the controller inside of a cavern that had like an opening in the top, like out to the sunlight.
Weird. Okay.
And I was jumping around in there with the gravity-defying jumps
in the game.
and flips. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like there was a physical,
like we were playing in a cavern
structure. Yeah.
No,
around you. Like you went to the extreme of hiding this game that you were hiding under blankets or some shit. That's what I had pictured.
No, that's a creative spot for your mind to go, though. I'll give you that. That's a really nice way for me to put that.
Put a bow on it.
No, he hands me the controller and we're in this cavern and I'm jumping around, defying gravity with my jumps and flips and my boobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find my way out of this cavern.
Yeah.
And I never played that damn game again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember stuff like that. You had to play it and you had to understand how to find the exits because the textures of the walls kind of blended in together, so it would be hard to find your way out.
I spent a long time in there too.
Yeah.
And then finally got mad. And I think I probably went outside. That was more my speed back then, you know?
There you go.
That's really kind of more my speed still. Get frustrated, put it down, go do something else.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to see a game like that remade. And
then still host a fucking show about it.
Yeah. And I know they just recently redid Tomb Raider, or they gave her like a facelift or whatever with these new games, and they're cool. I like them, but I want to go back and have a true remake to the original game. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
One more thing that I would like to talk about.
You say one more thing. Have we done enough touching on Kingdom Hearts 3 being released?
You know, I thought we should save it until we've played it. Because I think next show, you and I will both have some good knowledge of.
We will have both played it by next show.
Oh, I'll have played it extensively by next show.
If there is a new release that you know I'll actually buy on release, it's Kingdom Hearts 3.
So what I'm going to do is text you every damn day until you tell me that you have the game and that you're playing it.
Oh, dude, I'm buying it tomorrow if I can find a copy of it.
You'll find a copy. They've got a
the same money that I had put aside to buy Smash.
Yeah.
I realized last week that Kingdom Hearts 3 was about to come out and said, I've played Smash before.
That was you subconsciously holding those video game funds for the game that you truly want.
Because you know I'm not going to spend money on a game if I don't think I'm going to just play the shit out of it.
I will say you are probably the most hardcore Kingdom Hearts fan that I've ever met.
It's because it's perfect.
I wouldn't say it's perfect.
Well, then you don't get to talk about it, Adrian.
Your analysis of the story of Kingdom Hearts. I remember talking to you about this the first time I met you, and you were telling me about Kingdom Hearts, and you gave me like the full story breakdown. I was like, dude, how in the hell do you have all this knowledge? Like, I don't remember jack shit about that story. Like, all I remember is that it was a bunch of hokey, dumb, light versus dark, and a whole bunch of stupid.
You just said hokey dumb.
I did. I love the gameplay.
And you say you're going to fucking buy it and play it.
So here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts for me. I don't care about the Kingdom Hearts story. I like the gameplay, and I like the Disney characters.
You know what the craziest thing about that is that's not necessarily my style of gameplay.
It isn't. I agree. Yeah.
But the Kingdom Hearts storyline.
Yeah.
And the Final Fantasy and Disney characters. I mean, we're on opposite ends of why we like that franchise.
We really are.
Maybe we should do a video and I can do like a 5-minute breakdown, which would turn into an hour-long breakdown of the first 2 actual games.
Honestly,
and none of the middle shit, so new players can just jump into 3 if they want to.
Yes, I think though you're right, because I remember you telling me that story and you were very like in depth and detailed about what was going on with shit I had no idea that was going on, but when you explained it to me, it made sense. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
We should do that.
But I've heard that all those spin-off stories and everything have a lot to do with the story.
Okay. They do until they don't.
I like, you will, in Kingdom Hearts 3, you will find characters in those other games that you probably won't know anything about. That's what I've heard.
But I'm sure that they'll drop enough knowledge, like a flashback or a little diatribe as to why they're there. It's my only holdup with the Kingdom Hearts franchise is you had this beautiful, incredible, amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a beautiful, amazing, incredible, and impeccable sequel. And you're building this fucking culture and this experience. And then you're like, you know what we should do? And everyone's like, Kingdom Hearts 3. And they're like, no, fucking
Cell phone game.
Cell phone games. No, it wasn't even cell phone games. It was like fucking Game Boy games at the time.
They did Game Boy, PSP, cell phone, Nintendo DS, 3DS. I'm probably missing something there, but yeah, they released a shit ton.
Right. And so then you've got like 1, 2, 1.5,
Yeah.
1.8.
Final chapter prologue.
Final chapter prologue, 2.4 redacted, twice removed.
Exactly.
I drop nursery rhymes. just all this fucking shit. And it is so fucking convoluted in all this between shit now that I stayed away from all that extra.
Yeah.
I am a diehard 1 and 2, and I've been waiting almost, actually, not even like exaggerating, almost half my life. I've been waiting for
When did Kingdom
numbers.
Hearts 2 come out?
When I was like
04?
Yeah, we were much younger.
Yeah,
I think 2 came out when I
think
was.
it's been like 15 years, 12 to 15 years.
It's been. I was going to say it's been 14 years.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong. But somewhere in that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 30. I've been waiting nearly half my life for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out.
That's crazy.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That is crazy.
And the fact that I even still give a shit is even fucking crazier.
A lot of people do.
The fact that I still buy Kingdom Hearts shit just to have is crazy. Like, that's one of my 3 big franchises. It is one of my big 4.
Whenever I think Kingdom Hearts, I think Ryan Reynolds.
My big 4, because everybody's into Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Most people are into Fallout.
Yeah.
Skyrim. Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Those are my 4 big franchises. And I've been waiting so fucking long for it that now that it's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I couldn't give less of a shit about playing Super Smash Brothers anymore.
What are you most excited about? Are you most excited about like the story or maybe visiting these new worlds?
Oh, I'm obviously more excited about visiting the new worlds.
Yeah.
I love the story, but that game gave me, outside of like the N64 Legend of Zeldas, that game gave me the grandest scale of applicable exploration that I'd ever played in a game before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I say that. I'm so excited for the story, though. I don't know. I'm just fucking excited.
Do you feel like this story needs closure?
I feel like they maybe need to end it.
I don't remember how 2 left off, and I don't know what happened in between 2 and 3, but I don't remember there being any plot holes, but I'm sure there were.
The story tends to leave plot holes for the sake of plot holes.
Yeah.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah.
More aptly speaking.
Also, Japanese games and movies tend to leave plot holes anyway.
Right. But I do feel like they need to close it because people in our generation that like someone like me, I cared immensely about the first two, and I've been waiting so long for the third.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I finish the third, I don't, unless it is just so incredible that it like alters what I believe about video games and everything else. I'm ready for it. I've been waiting so long with bated breath so I can maybe have closure on this story. You know?
Yeah.
I think if they left it open again, I would maybe stop caring.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I don't feel like after I finished two and now I don't remember much about it, but I don't remember thinking, hey, the story's not done. I need a three. I never thought that. I thought two was okay. I was done with the story after that. I'm more excited about Kingdom Hearts 3 because it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game since uh 2, just like you. Actually, I played Dream Drop Distance and I didn't care for it at all. But as much as I like say I don't care for the storyline and everything, I do like the gameplay. The battle system is fun. The leveling system is fun. I love the noises, the little sound effects
Oh yeah.
that it makes
Yeah.
whenever you get the little balls. What are those called? You remember? The experience balls and the money.
Oh, yeah,
M-U-N-N-Y. I love those sound effects. I like
I can
having
hear it in my
Donald and
head.
Goofy. Yeah, exactly. And I like having you could summon your special characters like Simba and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, those things are so fun to me.
It's fantastic.
And I love that we're getting ready to explore completely new Disney worlds. I mean, are there any that we've already explored in this one?
I mean, I'm sure we'll visit old ones. I'm sure of it.
I know we have to go to Traverse Town again.
Of course.
That's a
it's the
staple.
hub.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, we're gonna get to explore Toy Story,
Yeah. I'm so
Pirates
excited
of the
about
Caribbean,
that. Monsters University or Monsters
Monsters.
Inc.
Yeah, that one's gonna be the shit. And we've talked about this before. Most of the gaming that I do happens in a period of time that lasts 5 to 10 minutes before Malone notices, and it's not
Oh.
my time anymore.
That's another thing. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And that's why I was so hyped to go ahead and get Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And just hadn't found the right time because I've been so fucking busy. I wouldn't even had time to like sit down and really play it.
Yeah.
I've hardly played Red Dead at all.
And I think the
only-
reason why you completed Spider-Man was because of Malone.
It's because of Malone.
Mhm.
Because when I'm doing other shit, he's going, "Hey, you want to stop what you're doing and come play
It's a
Spider-Man?"
bonding moment.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hell yeah, I'll stop what I'm doing and come play Spider-Man." And so a game like Kingdom Hearts with the Disney characters
Yeah.
and dudes with big weapons and spiky hair and cartoons and magic and all that shit and the story that I mean you don't care about, but whatever. I think that this will be a really fun one to play with Malone and Tilly.
I agree. And that's what I'm most excited about, I think, is that I can sit and play this game with my kids and they can watch me
Yeah.
play themselves. And, I can't do that with Resident Evil. I have to wait until they're in bed to play Resident Evil because it's terrifying for a kid to see. And Kingdom Hearts is like, I can play this anytime. Like, hey, let's sit on the couch. I can completely imagine Libby or Owen saying, hey, can you play Kingdom Hearts? I want to see what happens next. And yeah, absolutely, I will. That is so cool to me. I love that experience, especially if you enjoy playing the game, because they're into things like Roblox and shit like that. And I don't care about those games at all. But
No, but when you can find a game that you can care about
Yeah.
with them, like I know if I bought Odyssey, Malone and I would play that
yeah,
together.
dude. Oh yeah,
Smash, I'd play with the kids.
yeah,
Really most Switch properties, I'd be down to play with the kids.
Yeah.
I've hooked up Breath of the Wild a few times and tinkered around on there with them. But there's something so different about the idea of sitting down and playing something like Kingdom Hearts with the kids. I mean, Malone's closer in age right now to the age I was at when I played the first one
than you are now.
than I am
Yeah,
by a long shot.
yeah.
You know?
No, it's true. That's a good point. And to be able to experience something that's nostalgic to you and you get to share with your children is pretty cool. I enjoy that.
I just hope the gameplay itself isn't any different than
As
it used
far
to
as
be.
I've seen from reviews, it looks to be much the same. In fact, a lot of people are saying that the battle system is a lot of fun.
Good.
So I'm really excited to play this. Dude, where can they find us?
On the internet.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. www. Jab Gcast, which is JABGCAST.com. They can find us on Instagram. They can find us on Twitter and Spotify and iTunes and YouTube and Pornhub.
Just search at JabGcast on all of those. I don't go to Pornhub though. I don't know what kind of stuff is there.
The root of why we're called Just a Bit.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Hey, this was episode 40.
Yeah, so we finally fucking touch on it.
I didn't even think about that. Episode 40, that's a milestone.
Episode 40.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
All right. Thanks, guys.